Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to do masking of images and merging pieces of images or mosaicing them together. So if you watched any of the prior videos related to just like general raster analysis, the techniques are actually the same. So being that it's a multi-band image or file doesn't really matter in this case. It's the workflow is effectively the same. Okay, so before we get started, we're going to need to have some clipping extents or masks. So what I'm going to do is go into my databases. So I created a new database called RS examples, and in there I'm going to create a new layer. So we're going to need two because I'm going to create two extents. So the first one we'll call extent 1, and it should be a polygon. Okay. And I should add that in. And then we'll just create another one. We'll call that extent 2. And again, it just needs to be a polygon. Okay, so now I'm going to click on extent 1, and then we're going to go to the raster tools here and extract, and then clip raster by mask layer. Okay, so our input, oh, actually, we gotta actually make inputs, right? So click on the layer, and then we'll turn on editing, and we're gonna draw. I'll just use this square tool. So let's do one that's kind of over prog. Okay, and then we'll go into our second layer, and we'll do one that's just offset a bit. So maybe, I don't know, we'll do up in this area here. Make sure they overlap a bit there. Okay. All right, so now we want to do our masking. So let's go into raster, extraction, extract layer by mask. And we'll grab our layer, and then one of our extents, we'll start with extent 1. Really don't need to set anything else in this case. And we're going to save that file. So we'll call this prog sub1 .tiff. And that should do it. So let's run that. Oops, something didn't work. Oh, I always forget to do this. So when you're drawing, you need to make sure that you save your drawing, your digitized features or drawing features before you try to use it. So I just saved them, so we should be good now. So extract raster by mask. Again, set this up, prog extent 1, and then we'll save that out to prog sub1 .tiff. Save and run that. So it looks like it's running now. So again, you have to remember to save your your edits before you're going to actually use it. Oh, looks like it's done. All right, so now we should have a little subcomponent there just in that extent. So now we'll do the second one. I'm going to just turn off these masks, by the way. So there's one, and then let's do the other. So raster, extract raster by mask. And this time we want to, same thing, we'll grab our prog layer. Now we want to extent 2, and then we just want to name it. So we'll call this prog sub2 .tiff. Save, and that should do it. So hit run there, and then it generated it. So now we have our second piece. So I'm going to turn off the original so we can see this here. So there's the first subset, and there's the second subset. So we have two pieces of imagery there. Okay, so now what we'd like to do is they merge these back together. So we've extracted out pieces. Now we want to hook those pieces back together. So that can be done using the merge tool, which is also used to stack bands. You just set it up a little bit differently. So we're going to the merge tool here in GDAL. We have to list our layers. We want sub 1 and sub 2. We can leave it 32-bit float. And note now we do not want to click place each input file into a separate band because we don't want to stack bands. We want to mosaic or merge data. So that's the key difference here in using it to merge versus using it to stack. All right, and then we're going to save to file. We'll call this prog merge.tiff. And that should do it. We could set like a null value if we wanted. But we won't worry about that for now. All right, so now we'll hit close. So now we have this merged version of the file. Let's hook those two together. Note the stretch is kind of weird, and that's because we have these null areas shown here in black that are kind of screwing up the distribution. So we go in and define those as null if we wanted. Real quick, we'll see if we can symbolize those out. So we go to transparency. Let's just put 0. I'm not sure if this works this way with a single band. Oh, it did. Okay, cool. So that got rid of those areas. It's just reading in the 0, 0, 0 as null. And then, we could go in here and symbolize if we wanted. So I'm just going to do, let's just do a standard. So red is red, green is green, and then blue is blue. So 3, 2, 1. And there we have like kind of a standard image. I'm a big fan of this Sentinel data, by the way. It's decently high resolution. It's free. There's a lot of bands. It's actually pretty impressive stuff. And they also collect data on a fairly regular basis. So if you're not a user of Sentinel-2 data, it's probably worth looking into. Okay, so there's an example of how to mosaic and mask image data in QGIS.